quick reminder, everyone, this talk is intended for educational purposes only. We're not financial advisors. Saw something interesting today I wanted to share, kind of goes with the theme of what we've been talking about lately. This is the number of securities at 52-week lows, now matching the COVID lows. This is another kind of visual of what the breadth kind of under the hood is looking like. If you guys were with us a few minutes ago, I was talking to Mario about how going through the primary watch list, pretty much seeing majority of the names that I track in, very deep bear markets. And so still pretty surprising to see the indices holding where they are. Do have kind of the generals, as they call them, the FANG names, Microsoft, things like that, holding the overall market up, as well as some rotation. Things like energy and oil, we're seeing catch a bid here lately, which is helping to hold up SPY. Again, there's not going to be any exposure from those oil and energy names and some of those other sectors in QQQ. The charts are starting to see a bit of divergence, which we will be looking at here in a moment, but just something to keep in mind as we continue to move forward. As far as events that are coming up, notable events you want to keep an eye on. January OpEx at the end of this week. We're getting into the thick of earnings season here. Netflix reports later this week should give us a good idea about tech, making it a little more challenging to swing trade when you have all of these binary events ahead. So just something to keep in mind for the next couple of weeks. And then we also do have FOMC, Powell speaking next week. So just something to keep in mind there as well. As far on the seasonality front, not much has changed here. Still looking at some weakness into the back half of January, early February. Pretty much seeing that play out currently, in my opinion. Seasonality has been spot on lately. So the quote unquote January effect is officially behind us here, being that it's January 18th. Now getting into the actual chart. The main thing that I have been watching this past week is that low from January 10th. Now, what we started to see here, we last met on the 4th. We were making all-time highs at that time, came down, just to kind of recap, got fairly close to retesting this range low and prior all-time highs, the 100 MA. I don't have it on this chart, but it does flow somewhere through here. We pushed higher, the range high, and now making a new low. Whether or not this is a significant new low, maybe not, but the point I'm trying to make here is this may be a lower high that is being developed. And so that tells us, remember, a trend is just a series of higher highs and higher lows. So if we have a lower high here, that can tell us that the trend is starting to shift. Now, as far as moving forward and kind of what to look at, I am keeping a very close eye on these recent lows. The late December low right there, and early December low, December 2nd, it looks like it was right through here. That's the 450, 452 zone. If we fail to see demand in this zone, if we fail to see a bounce from this area, I think it's fairly likely that we see a move into the 200 MA. So that's what I would be looking for. So there's going to be a key watch. As far as shorting, I'm going to be cautious. I don't want to necessarily, if this is going to hold as support, I don't really want to find myself shorting the low. And so this remains an area to be watching rather than something to be actionable. We want to watch the reaction versus this zone rather than getting short the second that 453 is lost or 450 is lost. So some things to keep in mind there. And with that, I will pass it off to Mario.
Thank you.
You have host?
I think I am. So screen number 2. So welcome everybody. And pretty similar to what we just talked about with Kyle regarding last time that we spoke. And just to touch, because I know some of you have expressed a little bit of I mean, put some questions regarding how to approach this type of trading that is kind of new for some of us, right? So I'm just gonna put a couple lines right here pretty fast. I want to take that much time, but I think it's important for us to basically, because I'm gonna link it to what just Kyle said at the end, and this is where we were, right? This is basically what we were doing last time that we met. That was January the 4th, and we were right here. So once we have identified this range with a daily chart, right? This is all we look at. How are we going to react into the zone? And to pretty much complement what Kyle just said is that at this point, like this one right here, this one right here, this one right here, I don't have much of a bias, right? What I want to think more, and that's something that I'm shifting to, right? What I'm thinking is like we need to be, that's an area for observation and put more emphasis on price action, right? Because at some point in time right here, all we see when we start seeing this red in here, all we're thinking is like, oh, it's a breakout play. So this is bullish, right? Because we are near the all-time highs. We just make a massive move. Everybody's bullish. So all we see right here is like, okay, this is a big move up. And right here, once we take the high or the prior day, and we start buying like 403, and we're thinking, okay, this is going to explode and we're going to go for 60, right? But again, like one of the phrases that I like the most, and is one of my rules, is I don't buy the high of a wide range, right? There's so much to go, so much buying that we need to actually absorb in here, so much profit taken if we start seeing a red one, right? So we came into what it looks like a bullish formation. Absolutely, you're coming from very strong move up into a move that is holding pretty high, right? It's like a 15% retracement. So we have the green bar and we're so ready to go long, right? The market just gave us this big move. And that's when we start reading what else is going on behind the surface. And then we come into price action. Price action includes me reading the volume. So what I don't like to see is like, if I'm holding, I don't care as long as it's going on, whatever profit taking is happening on low volume, which is what we want. Profit taking should be small profit taking, people exiting what they like to call the weak hands or the short-term scalpers taking the profits, but not massive selling. When I start seeing this type of move in the volumes, I start thinking distribution, right? So we have our first sign of distribution right here. And this is why on the 4th, we decided to look for some sectors that were acting a little bit weak. So we went with the payment services, and I think we went with the security. I think it was the high-tech security, the NETs, the CrowdStrike, the Zscalers, all of those like security software, they were like getting hit too. Next day, we have the massive confirmation on the move down. So we're back into a range trading, right? Proper way to be trading this one is like, okay, we didn't have the breakout, so we cannot be bullish. We have to shift it into being bearish. Why? Because we have targets right here. Target 1 will be the 50 MA, and then we have a target 2, which will be the test of the prior support zone, which is pretty clear right here. 1 and 2 pivots. These are pivots, guys. These are pivots, right? So once we start breaking into this, we have to start considering how much of a push, how much of force the bears are actually putting in the market. And I think we talk and we walk you all guys through pretty much every single one of these days over the last week. With Kyle, we've been talking and explaining every single day what the opening means, how we're going to be approaching, how we're going to be addressing every single one of this. The main mistake that I make, and I'm going to call it right here, is we have the massive move down. We broke support, at least in intraday, right? And then we have the massive bear market, if you want to call it bear market rally, right? We know that after such a big move, usually we're going to have a bounce. This is just about a technical bounce. In case you don't see it like that, I want to show you guys something. We do it all the time, right? How's the retracement? Right there. So we're going from here And actually, it should have been here. So we came down and we retraced 50% of the move. So based on Fibonacci at 50% of the move, we should be continuing to make and retest the low. So we have a move that came back at 50% with a declining 50 MA, with a declining 20 MA. This is what I call a sell setup. If you don't see it like that, again, I encourage you guys to just put the minus on that one. And then you're going to start seeing like, oh, look at that. We call it right here. We come right here. Isn't this a buy? This is a buy too, right? Right as support at the 50 at the 20. So how come that is not a short? It's exactly the same trade, right? The thing is, like, honestly, I closed it like for 3 points and then I left. And then when I came back, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I made money. I make like 383, 386 to 383. I make a 1% move. And then when I come back, I almost cry because that was like a 300, 400% move on my options. So 377, we got it right here. So my main point is we got to trade what the chart is telling us. So at this point in time, the daily chart is showing me it's sell setup, right? And we discussed it, I think, prior to the end of last week. And we said, now the main point is we should be testing the prior low, right? Because technically we just moved 50%. So by Fibonacci, we should be making a new low. So the new low will take us, this is like target 1. Today we hit target 1. Target 2, well, we have a very good reference level, which is 365. So what I'm going to be looking at now is we're looking at that daily chart, and the completion of that daily chart, write it down, that will be a daily sell setup, right? And the daily sell setup of a 50% fib should take us to target 1 today. That was 370, so we hit it. And target 2, we could get an expansion. So we're going to probably hit the 200 MA. Pretty simple, 265. That's for those of us that like to trade the momentum, right? So if we see it, or we get a good entry right there, that's probably the trade that I'm going to be taking. Now, once you have identified what's going on with the cues, now if this is, Kyle just touched another great point, which is the importance of knowing the trend. So we're basically putting a nice downtrend right here. So we have a high. This is the first lower high that we have. We make a new low right here. So we should be making a new low. Once we break the low from 369, the low from 110, then we're going to have 1, 2 lower highs, 1, 2 new lows. So we will be in a downtrend as far as the daily chart is concerned. I'm probably breaking the 200 MA. So what we are going to have to be looking, we're talking probably for the next 10 days until we meet again, is once we break, how high we're going to go back to create the lower pivot. And my guess is going to be probably 380. So we're going to be probably 365, and then we're probably going to come back and bounce to 380. The same, I don't want to make the same mistake that I did here, trying to think that it was just going to go up to highs. I'll probably be more cautious at that point in time. And yeah, if we start seeing 382, I'll probably trade again the base, the big wedge, but the big range. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue trying to do the short. Believe me, I trade short a lot more than what you guys think. And it's really hard. It's really, really hard. Like today, I was short and I got stopped. And then you say, like, how come if we just close at the low of the day? And I was like, yeah, but we have that little bounce of almost at 1.5% at 10 a.m. So they got me at that bounce. So it's really hard. Exactly. It's a checkout. So you're going to get checked out. If volatility is high, because we've seen VIX high, and you don't have like a great entry, it's really hard to hold onto those short trades unless you have the conviction. So what we're going to try to do today is we're going to have to find some of those trades that we need to have conviction in order to see, the profits that we want to see. I just saw, we were discussing prior to the recording starting, the Affirm idea that is down 30% from where we call it. So that's a massive trade that for some reason it was off the radar, right? But we should have been short that one. We knew that there was problems with the payments. It's been going on, is a theme now. So how come we don't have some of that? But that's the kind of exposure and that's the kind of work that we wanna do here. So what's going on? So now you know where we stand on a daily chart. The daily chart is now putting on a downtrend. So we need to make a new lower low, higher, lower high, and then we just continue trading. But remember, we have to take into account what the longer time frame is doing. So we go into the weekly chart, and this is where we started to get a little bit worried, right? Because the fact that we're finally breaking all of these months. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks, almost 11 weeks, almost 3 months worth of trading. So once we start really accelerating to the downside, I know the daily chart give us, what was the target? 369, 365, but we can actually go all the way to test probably the 350, right? So based on the weekly chart, if we start trading the weekly, we're gonna have a breakdown play, right? Is a breakdown of the base that we were doing, distribution. We could test 350, 355. Why do I have 250, 365, 355 and 350, okay? So thinking about that, we have a possible break of a range on a weekly chart, and I'm gonna come right here because I like this one better, because then I'm gonna add the volume profile right here. See what's going on the weekly. Once I go on the 363, right, which could happen tomorrow, then I have nothing. 358, yeah, but that's an average. That's not real volume. The volume actually comes down all the way to 340. Okay, so let's put that one right there because that's scary. But we're talking about 30 points on a 300. So that's another 10% retracement, another 10% drop. We have to know that it can happen. Should not take us by surprise. So then we come into the daily chart, and this is where we're working, right? All of our eyes for tomorrow, then the day after tomorrow, and until we break 363, we need to be concentrated here. I cannot make more emphasis in here. I don't have a bias like what Kyle just said. I agree with him 100%. I want you guys to take a look at this. We were in a consolidation, in a squeeze. The squeeze triggered, and it triggered to the downside. So there was no reason why we should have been thinking that this was gonna explode to the upside. Look at the squeeze triggering to the downside right here. Once it changed, 1, 2, right here, started going down, momentum shifted, volume up, distribution all the way. We just make a new low on the momentum indicator. Look how low it was here. In here, we just make a new low. So momentum continues to go to the downside. So we're looking at, again, the 368 for tomorrow with the 200 MA, 366, pretty simple. Everybody can see it. That'll be a target for our daily chart, based on our daily chart. Then we move into the next one, which is the weekly, and then we can see all the way through here, the 350 and the 340. So this will be now, this will be one, right? Based on that, now the question is who's holding, because also Kyle posted a great chart into the market breadth and how many stocks are trading under 200 MA or in bear market territory, which is 20% or lower from all-time highs. So now we're going to have to find who's guilty of the market actually holding. And then we come right here, one of the most watched stocks in here. So this is just the chart, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to see what I'm seeing, right? Basically what we have is a massive accumulation, run it up, and now we couldn't make all-time highs, significant all-time highs. Don't call significant all-time highs if you go from 181.96 to 182.94. That's 1 point on almost 200 points. So that's not even, it's not even at 1%, not even a 0.5%. So that's not a real, this is just a trap. A lot of people chase when we see all-time highs. So this is like a trap, and that was a perfect trap. So all the way down. So what do we have for Apple? Look at the volume to the left. Once we break the 50 MA, which happens to correspond with the market right here, with the volume. Once we break this 169, 168, we can come down all the way to 160 and 155. Okay, and nothing has happened. All we're doing is trading the market, right? So that's pretty much the market. Look at this one. It's holding better than the Qs, right? Because the Qs has all the other companies that are trash. So they are like way below the 200, the 52-week highs, but Apple's still holding. So I think this is one of the reasons that we're still there. Look at the market right here again. So once we break 168, put it down, Apple under 168 is a must watch for the market. Okay, I'm not saying you should trade Apple short. If that's the one that you want to do with the market, it's fine. And your target will be like 158. I'm going to do it with the daily chart right here. So we can have a target from 168 all the way 164, 160. So 164, 160, and ultimate at the end, if I can get it for 155, 166, that's probably where I'm going to start thinking about putting back my longs on this name, right? So again, you don't need to trade it, but what I want to use it is as a gauge for what the Qs might be doing. If I see Apple getting very weak, I'll be more concerned finally about the Qs probably hitting those targets, big selling off that we're waiting, right? So that's the Apple. Let's look at the other one that we see, Amazon, and we have problems right here, right? So you go into the monthly chart and we're still holding that long-term base. Failed to make a significant new high. Based on our calculation, 37.18 to 37.62, that's 50 points on a $3,000 stock. $50 if you have 3,800 in your pocket is nothing. So that's not a significant new high. Disregard that one, and now we're coming into, now, is this a formation that I know how to trade? I gotta come back and start looking for the W's, So pretty much, this is the same situation that we saw in the Qs, although it's really not going down. The main thing is what's gonna happen if our Amazon start trading below 3,000. So let's put a note that we want to watch also Amazon once we go under 3,100. If you want to trade it to the short side, you can see 3,000. So that's a 100-point drop, right? Where do we want to, because you see that now I'm doing something different to what I normally do, right? Which I'm like, okay, we're at support. So we need to start thinking into how do I get in, because this is whatever, right? The problem that we have right now is that we're breaking down under point of control, and we're leaving all of this volume trap right here. So there's a lot of people that actually bought and paid higher. That's the meaning of the point of control. So we got a lot of people that paid over 3,180. Some people paid 3.7, right? So once we start coming down, it's very real to think that a lot of people will get stopped out. So there's going to be a lot of stop hunting, or basically, if you're a big holder in Amazon and you didn't buy all the way through here, you know that all you need to wait is for these ones to get flush and probably pick it up at 24, 29, right? Where am I getting it? The 200 MA, which happens to be the last point that we have actual volume right here. So that's the reason why I'm not coming from here the first time that I'm testing. The other thing that we have to think about is support resistance, right? Support resistance, think about it like as a glass floor, right? The more you jump on it, like if we have Strong doing his lifts, heavy lifts on that one, he drops it once and then probably that's going to hold. But if he continues to do it, the more he does it, it's probably going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. And eventually it's just going to break. So I don't like it. So that's what I like so much when I have like an extended move. The first time we touch, I don't care. I'll try to buy it, right? Or I try to sell it versus a new high, or I try to buy it versus a new low near support. But once we have revisited before, and we've been revisited so many times, now I'm starting to think, okay, these guys have been knocking on this door like 3, 4, 5 times. So is this going to get weaker? So I'm not as aggressive, right? So let's look at Microsoft, which is all the other name that we're following, and actually was somewhat of a lead into what the market was doing. And I'm going to show you a little bit of a difference right here. Why this one is not the one that would be like the one to look at. Because when you come, like you see the Amazon chart, you see the Apple chart, but look at the difference right here. We have a lot of people trapped over here at the 33, right? Look what the point of control is, so high. So we started trading under point of control probably the last time that we spoke on 3-4, on 1-4, I'm sorry. January the 4th, we were ready below the 20, below point of control, below the 50. So safe to assume with all the volume that we saw right here, dumping the stock, that we were just gonna go down. We came and we tested support first time right here. Guess what the problem is? So Amazon went back up, of course, with the market. Touch it, little dodgy right there, and then like the market is acting up. So this is a 1, 2, 3. We know this play, right? 1, 2, 3. So it didn't trigger today. They try to bounce it probably because of the news that they have. But look where we closed. So Amazon, Microsoft, once we start trading 300, I think we see 286. Okay. So Microsoft, what I want to call is I'm going to call it 300 by 286 as a range, right? Why? Because 286 is going to be so important for me. Look at the point of control. It's almost as big as this one right here. So we're coming into some heavy volume right here. So 285, 286 could be a good place. Plus we have the earnings, right? So for Microsoft, we're going to be looking for some retracement into 286, which is right here. And we're still on a weekly uptrend. You see, notice the difference with the other chart. This is like a very beautiful uptrend, right? Go and look, say, the Apple, right? The Apple, very strong, hasn't break yet. Probably the Amazon is the one that I wanted to do. Like we have no weekly uptrend, right? So if we don't have a weekly uptrend, we don't have an, we don't have an uptrend. We don't have a buy setup. That's what I meant to say. Right. So all we're doing in Microsoft is we're going to be testing this zone right here. And we have a volume because we can see it right here on the daily. So the 286, we're going to be looking at that. Right now, what's going to happen if we go tomorrow over 310? Then that means we're going to gap up. So we're going to trade it as a gap. Like we're going to be trading for the most part over the next 2 days. Next 5 days, let's put it like that, because we're working with major support in the market. We're working into, okay, we're getting into 200, so anything can happen, anything overnight, and we're gonna come tomorrow and it's gonna be 310. Well, the easier trade is gonna be 310, and just take it and see if we're gonna be testing 323. And the market, the chart is gonna be changed immediately. But since I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, all I can say is like down here, down, we have support right here. We break support, we come and test the 200 MA, 291 and 286. That's all I can do, guys, right? We cannot see into the future. So that's what we plan. So that's the Microsoft. Let's see Netflix. How's Netflix doing? And Netflix is terrible, absolutely terrible. Now, when we come, and as far as how bad this one looks, and in case you lost and you don't know what's going on, come into your longer term charts. And this is an exercise that I tell pretty much everybody that I work with to do it. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't understand the market. I don't know what size should I be on, if I should be long, if I should be short. Coming to the monthly chart, you come and you see it like, okay, long, and then we have the base, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 months high for a move of almost 50%, right? From 500 to 704. So that's like 40%. Let's put it at 40, 43%. This is a breakout play. Usually breakouts come and test the break point. So that's where we were last time that we talked. We say like, wow, they're probably going to come and test. The problem is like if a breakout is going to hold and continue higher, needs to hold. The moment we get the moment we break support from the breakout point, you know what's going to happen, right? we're likely going to continue trading into the new range, and retest the range. So that's exactly what happens. I don't know if we make that call as far as Netflix being a short once we got into the range. Monthly buy 616. No, we just call it for the monthly buy. We're just waiting for the monthly buy. So we're waiting for 616 to come right here and make the new high. However, if you're trading a breakout, you know how to trade a breakout. So I don't need to tell you that. Once you start breaking this one, which is the break point, you know that I use it a lot intraday, and I say I'm going to lock XYZ at the break point. That's what it means. It should not be breaking to 590. Once you break 590, you come all the way to 500, and that's where we are. So this one is going to be into what with earnings, and this is just going to be a momentum short, right? 510, 500. If that's what you like to do, Netflix is a Momo trade for 500 test into earnings. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Why? Because we're going to have to wait, and earnings are 120. So that's like 2 days from now. That's Thursday. So by Thursday, we will know what's going to happen with this pattern. So we know where we are. We're inside our range again, and we're going to start getting bullish again over 567. And then we look if we're going to break, right? 567 will be over the 200 MA, and then we probably have a nice trade into 593, which is 30 points on Netflix. So that's Netflix. We also have earnings season coming, so this is going to be even more difficult. That's why I'm spending so much time, because a lot of things that we're going to be discussing, they're going to be facing earnings. So the chart is going to change like so much unless we have like a well-positioned trade that we can actually hold through earnings. This is Google, very similar to what's going on with Amazon, Apple, that I think they're holding the cues, right? So how am I going to address Google at this point is I want to see how we treat the 200 MA. So Google, let's put some alerts at 2660. Keep that eye on the 200 MA. That's probably not going to be my favorite trade, but I'm going to be looking at the cues if Google start to break too. So this is just going to be a market gauge, no call for that one. Don't like to trade it. So let's look at Meta and see what's up with Meta. So Meta, what we have is like, we have something similar to what we just discussed with Netflix, right? We have the pullback, we have the move up, we have a base, we have the break, strong break, and then we testing, right? We tested, and we call this one a buy setup because we trigger, and we were thinking we were going to go higher. Now, the problem is that this one's failing. So what I want to see is how are we going to treat this level right here, the 300, which is the 20 MA on the monthly, right? The 300 will put us right here. This is the level. Now we're 318. And when it's, when is this one reporting? 318, 222. So we still got a month, right? So look at the weekly chart. What we have is we have a small range right here. I'm gonna show it to you guys. And this is the top of the range that we can work with, right? I'm gonna leave it like that. So that's a 2-2. And then we have the bottom right here. We see it, 309. Problem is that we have a range between 300 by 352. So Facebook is in a range between 300 and 352. Going into earnings at 222, so we still got time. So how are we going to trade? If I see a hard sell into the 300 and hold, I'll probably trade it as a weekly range. Why? Because I'm still over this base. So I'm still over this base that we see here on the monthly. So I'll give it a shot at 300 and probably get some trade into earnings. Now, what I would love this one to do is like trade into the 300 hold, and they start seeing some buying ahead of the earnings, and I'll be probably like 300 with a stop at 297, and you can probably get 30, 40 points on that one. So that could be a good setup to watch. Okay, so watch for the Facebook for into earnings versus support on a weekly chart. I'm going to make a note right here. Look at the weekly chart and into earnings, right? Not much of a momentum trade. Of course, momentum, I don't need to tell you how to do that. Just take the break of the low of the year, which is going to be under the 316 and get your targets, 312, 310, and 300 if you get lucky, okay? Then we go to Nvidia. Let's do some chips, metaverse chips. And basically what we're doing is we're having a major pullback on Nvidia after that huge run up, right? So we went from the breakpoint, which was 232 all the way to 346. That's 120 points on 230. That's a 50% run. And we're coming down on a fib. Let me do the fib right here pretty fast. Drawing tools, and let's see where we are. Assuming that this is a breakpoint, it's going to be like a 60% retracement already, right, from the last move. So I'm going to come right here on a daily, and here's when I don't like to call, like, here's a hint. Like if I'm looking for support resistance play, right, I cannot call this one support. I understand there was volume right here, but it's 63 million shares, right? When I look to the left, look at where the level is, look at where volume is, look at how big this volume is, look how big this volume is. I got nothing in here. Like, yeah, some people trade it, but compare this volume to this volume right here. It's like, what is it, like 20% of what it is? So this one can get bad pretty fast. Why? Because look at how we acted right here. There was not a lot of people buying or with enough time to load at these levels. So they're not going to support it. Probably they're out right here. There's a lot of people trapped right here on the higher levels. We couldn't buy right here, but they load the boat in here, thinking that we were going to break out. Right? So to the downside, I can see a lot of potential right here, 257. Under 257, we go all the way to 220. So Nvidia under 257 for 220. And that's a big target, guys. That's 37 points. So that's like a 15% move. So you need to take partials. So I'll say like probably here at 3 ATRs, 245, that could be a good target one, right? And then we take it from there, like 235, 230. We start closing the gap at 232, and then we finally get to 230. Don't expect it to go 230. Although if the market really gets bad, that's going to happen, may happen pretty fast. So this is the same chart, probably going to give you another perspective of what we're doing or what we're thinking, right? We have the pullback right here. This is ignited a move, like a huge move of 50%, right? We expected this one to hold. Right? It failed right here. This is the big move first week of January. And now what we're trying to see is we're trying to see if the bears are going to get into some actual selling, right? Or if it's just going to be like drifting. Remember, look how it acted on the way up, right? This is drift. This is a drift. Look where the volume came in. Volume came in here. I don't know, some news, but look at this. This is just a drift. This is just a drift. This is just going higher. So it can happen to the downside too. Like tomorrow we down, we gap down, and then another, then, Nvidia is down another 3%, another 2%, another 3%, another 2%. Then when we see it, it's like at 220. So keep an eye on Nvidia if we get actual selling. Look at the volume today. No big arbol. So if it comes into trade, probably under 257 for tomorrow. Gonna put some color into that one just in case. If we see 257, 2%, two ATR, two arbol right here, like 200%. So that's massive distribution that we get the sellers actually selling. Look what happens when they actually step it up. You see, it moves hard. So that's what I'm going to try to see. So that's Nvidia. AMD, AMD is still working, and we're pretty close to the pivot, like this one right here, right? So that's what we broke. We broke from 128, and I think we were working on that 28 last week. I remember I told Carly that that's the level that we needed to watch, the 128. So we're still looking at that one. We're still close to that. So I want to see how we react to the 128, just based on the monthly chart. Just based on the monthly chart, right? Because when we come and we look at the volume profile, I don't see much. So if you want to be less risky due to the market conditions, you're going to use probably my entry right here, 137, right? Once we start getting over this little 50 MA, so that could be one of the reversals, and that's why, like I put it today, like AMD as a possible reversal, because I think once we get over the 50 MA and then we have this little volume, that can act as support, not for a big trade, but at least it's going to give us 145. And guys, 138 to 145, that's going to be enough for us to make our day. So AMD, let's do it over the 50 MA, standing at 138 for a 145. That's going to be trade number one, right? And then the other one that we're going to be looking is we're going to be looking at 128 as support resistance, right? 128 as a support resistance play, right? Based on the monthly chart. That's the only reason why am I doing it, right? Because we're testing this one for the first time. Okay. I'm not sure in Nvidia, we already tested it. Now, Nvidia will need to, the problem is that we broke so hard from here, so we can still hit 228. So that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to keep it right there. I knew it was a difference. You see a difference? Okay, good. So that's the AMD. Let's see Qualcomm, which is a breakout play that we've been waiting like forever, right? The monthly looks perfect. Not a problem right there. I think is a matter of just the market. The market hasn't given us the entry. So Qualcomm remains as a breakout play watch over the all-time highs, which is 193.58. What's going to happen right here? And this is side note. I know I did it the last time, but I want to make it again. Look at this massive squeeze. So we have now 25 days as a squeeze, right? Meaning volatility has been low. Basically what this one means is like the Bollinger Band is inside the Keltner channel. So volatility contraction, pretty much everybody's right there. Everybody's accumulating. So 183. Can we see a break and a trap? That's probably a good thing. So if I see like 174 and then coming back over the 50 MA, we can trade that one as a base. Okay, so I'm going to make a note right here. We can do the breakout play or we can trade it as a base. And I'm going to do probably a term that I haven't used here, but it's a base with a shake. Like if you want to learn more about that, look for Wyckoff, and that's called spring, right? What we're going to leave is a spring. So basically you come down, trap the shorts, and they come back up over the 50 MA. That's your entry, 176, on which you hit for 193. But we need certain things to happen right there. This is exactly what we were talking. So we all know how to trade this one. We can play the breakout play, or we can do a shakeout out of the base. So in case, I'm going to give you a little bit more news here, right? So this is what we're talking, right? This is the reason why those springs tend to work, right? Like everybody is holding, everybody's at this place like 180. Nobody wants to break. Like this one to break 171. Once it breaks, it takes 171. A lot of stops are going to be triggered. It's going to probably come 169, and then we see the buyers come back in, and then when we get back into the range, we buy the bottom of the range. So all we're doing is we're trying to get position for the breakout play prior to the breakout play. If you don't know how to do that, pretty simple. Wait for 183.58. Once we get to 183.58, you take it all the way to 200. So not a problem. Okay, so that's what we're doing on Qualcomm. So I'm giving you two ways to trade the Qualcomm, which is the breakout play. We gotta wait, pretty simple. Or if we get a spring at the base, just because it's a great chart. Guys, look at the monthly chart. It's a beautiful chart. Look at the weekly chart. It's a beautiful chart. And look at the weekly, the daily chart is even nice compared to the other things that we've been dealing with. So let's go to PayPal. And this is one of the payments, and we're still coming down. So probably we're going to be testing the 166 right here that we have, right? Problem is, so we did this massive run. I don't know if it was on crypto BS or whatever that we're doing or whatever. So finally people realized that crypto was not going to go to 100,000 by December. So now we're back to 40K. I think it is. So I don't know if this is affecting PayPal because I don't do fundamental analysis. What I can do is we can see that stock that starts retracing so hard, the momentum is clearly to the downside. So what we have is even a 1, 2, 3 right here on the monthly. So once you break the 180, it's safe to assume that we're going to be testing the 160. So that happens actually yesterday or today. Yeah, I think it was Friday, right? Look at how we were thinking, and I include myself, that this was going to be a support play based on our chart right here. So we were assuming that guys that bought right here were probably going to be supporting this one, but there's nobody here. Once we come, there's no, I mean, not real volume. So I don't think we're going to see anything interesting in this one until we get to 196, 200, which is where we have. So actually, we never actually trigger a reversal trade on this one. We have it as a reversal trade, stays as a reversal trade. So PayPal over the 200 or the 196 at least, which is the 200 MA, right? So that's the one we won. And then once we get there, we start counting like 10% moves, 10, 20, 200 to 20 and 250 probably. For now, we just got to let it work, let it take its time. And probably with the market the way it is, look, now what we have is like the squeeze triggered to the short side. So we're probably going to see at least 5 or 6 days of momentum to the downside. That will get us to 166 and 160. So if you want to short it as a momentum play, that could be a momentum play on the 174 for 166 and 160. And that's a PayPal. And thank you, Kyle. Just so when you posted the week of spring, exactly. That's one of the most advanced entries in trading, to be honest, guys. So, but it's like I love them. Probably you gotta give it 2 tries, but once it works, do you mind if I cannot carry it here? Yeah. To show exactly what the guys in the, that's why you gotta be part of the Traders Think Tank every single day, because that's where we put all the information very updated, and we give you all the game plans that we're doing for the next day. So let's continue with the terms right here with the themes that we have. I'm sorry, the themes. So we got their firm, that one's hitting pretty much the target that we have. I think the short was versus the 90, 91 was around here versus the 90 for a target of 65. Correct me if I'm wrong, 65 or 60. So that's a big move that we just nailed right there. Under 80 versus 90 for target 160, target 170. We hit it today, target 1. Now we need the second target. So this is what's going on right here. A firm, it was hot. Apparently it was like it was gonna take everybody's credit cards away. So this was like the biggest new invention ever. But this is what's going on, guys. This is what happens. This is what we were talking about, the stock market rewarding pretty much any type of company, even though they don't have much innovation. But I don't want to get into that one. But what I see is like this is a chart. We broke the 200. This is how important the 200 is at that point in time. So we broke the 200. That was a 90. That was a target. So where are we now? I got to go into the weekly chart and let's see if we have something else. So at this point in time, I'm just going to have to play it as a momentum trade. So if you want to go, you got to go 63, which we're breaking a lot of volume right here. Probably 62. 62.50 can take you all the way to 56. So let's call it a firm Momo on the 62 for 56, which is 6 points, which is a 10% move. And then you go and test the lows of the IPO price, which is at 46.50. So this one stays as long as they don't come up with some news. You know the drill, right? No news, no catalyst, no, now they've been bought by Amazon at a premium of 45%, like ATVI today. So we never know, right? Because these guys have some good partnerships. So now that they're come back to earth, dropping like 120 points, 70% of the value may become a, you know, if they're that good, they become a target for an acquisition or something. So we always careful with that. But momentum 62, 56, 46, all-time lows. Okay, that's a firm. We have the club too that I don't usually trade because it's just the price. So that one got destroyed. I think we called that one too for like $4 from 7. So needless to say, that's a huge trade for whoever took it, down 75% from entry. And then we got Square, which is another one that I'm pretty sure we called. So for that one, what we wanted was we were working on this daily chart, and this was just a basic breakdown play, right? Momentum. So it went down, and now it looks like a second leg. Now this is where we are. I think of like 105 could be the next target. I want to put the weekly chart right here. And let's see. So now we're at the 200 MA. So that's important. That's why I go through all of this is the weekly 200. So make a distinction right there. Let me see the daily. Yeah, the daily so far it's at 230. But now I don't know. Do you happen to know what the 200 on a weekly is? Kyle? So that'll be like 4 years, right? 52 weeks per year, 200 is the average of the last 4 years. Yeah. Should be something like that. Something like that, right? Anyways, it looks bad, by the way. So 123. So we break 124 and we got nothing till 100, through $100. It's hard to even call it. But yeah, 99 and 84. I'm going to write it. I mean, like SQ, Momo under 130, 129, weekly 200 MA for 99 and 84. Yeah, I wonder if we can get some out of the money calls for that and puts. I'm sorry. So Square, I'm just looking at the chart, guys, and honestly, this is not the way that a stock that is gonna bounce should look like. We got nothing when we come into the weekly here. We can see volume at 241, which is where all the distribution happened. So once we started breaking under the 209, we got nothing until we test this one right here, which is 82, which is the level that we're looking here. That's what I use the weekly. So this is my weekly too. This is my monthly. Monthly is like a 67, and then I move through here so that I can get a sense of what's going on. So basically, massive accumulation, distribution, rounded top, and now we're probably like at 60% right here. Look at that, 61.8% of the whole move. So we can probably squeeze it 70%, and we put us at 107. So that one is good because I think we have a good target in there if we see it. So keep an eye on this one if we see it in play and with good entry. Square remains as a terrible trade. So let's do some of the other chips. I know Intel got an upgrade today from 54 to 56. I think it was pretty impressive. So let's look at the chart. Look at the monthly right here. The weekly, I'm sorry. So we have massive accumulation, 54, 54, like for 2 years now, the whole year. Point of control right here, you can see it. The formation is not bad. So this one, although I don't like to trade it, I say we may get 4 points, like an 8% move right there. So over 56.30, INTC over 56.34, that'll be 59, 60, 65. Okay, upgraded. When's this one's gonna report? I don't even have it here. Because I have let me see the monthly. So we got earnings on 126. Yeah, little too close. This is basically what I see. Like it has done nothing. This is dead money. So probably it's gonna go test 57, 60, 65. That would be like the whole move. Okay. Intel, interesting. MU is the one that we like a little bit more. Reason being, beautiful trade, beautiful monthly, long, pull back into the break point. This is what they're supposed to do, right? Back, boom. This is what I wanted Nvidia to do. Pull back, breakpoint, test the highs, consolidate, digest, break 100, go to 120, right? So that's the play over 98.45. And we can probably get 10, 15% on that one. So that put us at 105, 115, 120. Okay, so that's a mu. I want to see it taking the 94.45. Now, why I'm not considering doing what I was thinking, what I was showing you guys on Qualcomm, because I don't have volume right here. So I don't want to be the only guy trying to buy it right here and guess if it's going to stop at 90, at 91, at 89, at 87, at 88. And then I have to give it like 4 or 5 different tries, right? So I spend too much money. If I get stopped like 4 times, by the time I get the little bounce, I'm not going to be making any money. So that's why that's another trick that I use, right? Make sure that when you're trading, so this is a trade, this is a monthly chart. Let's go to the weekly chart. Let's see if it's going to give us something different. But no, basically what I want is this one. I want momentum breakout play 99, 100, 120. So Micron stays, and that's a must watch because it's setting up pretty good. If the market starts bouncing, this could be the one, or with any news, right? So that's Micron. TSM, Taiwan Semi, we have the move on. We have the move that we wanted, the 125 weekly breakout play for 142. So that one was exactly as we call it, 125 to 142. We went a little bit past that one, and then we trading, or we started trading as trying to see if we were going to hold the breakpoint. The breakpoint, that's when I have the problem with the breakpoint for this one. Because if I come through the monthly, I'll say the breakpoint was 141. That should have been the place where we held, right? But the real, like, that's a tail. So volume would be like a 131, but real volume is only traded at 117. So now it's getting interesting for me. If I start seeing 121 to 131, and then I start coming to see, I start seeing some volume picking up, I'll probably start nibbling into this one. So over the 135 for 145, that'll be TSM. Okay. And then let's place an alert at the 130, 125 alerts. And then we see how we react in price action, where the market is, what the market's doing, and then we see if probably we can get a better entry, which will be like trying to buy it into the base. But the main one will be like the easier one would be right here on the daily, and just once we take off probably this 135. So let me do some alerts right here so we can help each other. So 135, 137, and we should take it for the new all-time highs, right? Let me see the weekly now pretty fast. And yeah, ideally this should have stayed higher, right? Problem is that 146, so that it got sold right there. So ideally this is a green bar. The strategy I like the most is the green bar, and then the red bar will be at the top, not breaking, and then we just follow 1, 2, 3. Pretty simple. This is a modified. That's what I'm considering a different type of entry, right? So you got to modify your strategy so it matches whatever is it that you're going to do. So Baba today with the bad news, they're in trouble with whatever, some news regulator, but I like the trade. I still like the trade. Why? Because it's a reversal trade. I'm working off the daily chart. That's all I'm seeing. I have 2 things on my mind, right? I have the massive pullback. I have volume at 175. I have volume at 128 right here on a weekly. So I know there's a lot of accumulation right here, the 128, right? You guys can see it here, 125. So it's like all of this. This is what I'm working with. So basically, if I'm buying around here, I'm buying with these guys. So we might be wrong, and we stop it for 2 points, probably 125, 122. I don't care. But once I start seeing volume coming back in, so I'm probably going to call it 134.50, which is the 50 MA. It's a reversal. So make sure you make it in your notes. It's a reversal. What is that supposed to mean? That you're going against a trend, that you're trying to buck a trend. So it's either going to work immediately or you get out. Pretty simple. You cannot give it time. You cannot give it like, oh, let me see if tomorrow is going to be the day I'm going to hold it, because tomorrow is going to be 122 and the next day is going to be 109 and the next day is going to be 85. That's what you don't want to do. You want to see it like strength. Like if these guys are paying up, and these are gonna support it, we should not be breaking down. We should be making people pay up for this one. So 134, 140, 135, 134, 135, 140, and then we go off to the races for 144 and 160. So that one stays. It's a reversal watch. Let's see some of the Chinese. How's the time doing? 6:40. So we got like 20 minutes. Baidu, not the same pattern. JD, I know that one's really good. That was really good. That was a great trade by Cole, by Kyle. I'm sorry, great call by Kyle. So we have some fun with that one. So where are we standing on that one? Let me see if here's the thing. Look at the difference. We're dealing with this massive volume, 78.08. So guess where we stop that day? There it is, 78.20. Yeah, you can get extra 20 cents, but for the most part, you're gonna hit this wall. So what we want to see is like we actually taking this wall with volume. Like some people would be like, okay, we're going higher. So over 79, I'll say over 78, 79. We can probably start aiming for the 89 point. What we're doing is simply, this is not a monthly buy. I got to take that one off because now it's not a monthly buy. What we're trading now is a monthly base, right? Let's look at the month. Let's look at the weekly. You can call it a weekly base if you want right here, right? I like it better if I call it as a monthly base, right? So this is what we're doing. Basically, we have the move up, and now pulling back. Let's see what's the pullback on that one. Sorry, this should be pretty fast. So I come right here, and I want to see how strong that trend is. Let's assume that it starts right here, just for fun. And we pull back at the 50% retracement fib, the whole move. So we're retracing a 50% move. So we're trying to get position around 73, 75. Once we start seeing some buyers coming in, we can get 79, 90, and ideally new all-time highs, right? That's the main thing. That's what we're trying to do. So keep an eye on this one. I want to see alerts over 78. Oh, JD over 78, 50 over 79. That's the main volume part. And then we go 95. Target one, and then I'm sorry, 85 target one, 85 and 92. I was reading this one wrong. This is 85, not 95. Yeah, 85, which is the smaller part of the range, and we have some volume right here, 80, 81, 82. So still, we're gonna have to have some catalyst on that one for that one to work. So that's the idea. That's Baidu. We did it. Let's go into the cars, Rivian. And we said we were going to wait for that one to give us a signal, thank God. And now it broke the price of IPO. So no need to cry if we don't get, if we didn't get it for 179 bucks, now we can buy it for 72 at a discount, deep discount. So what's going on with that one? It's an IPO. I have to give it more time. Still watching it, but nah, just gonna wait. 107 probably is gonna be 100. That's when I start looking at it. But we can start putting, like, since it's a new issue, I probably want to look at how it's working the 80s, the 87s, the 90s. Before, like, that's gonna probably give us a week or a couple weeks before we can start trading it. So that's Rivian. Then it's Tesla. And Tesla's been playing with us, took a nice scalp. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, I think it was Thursday. So it looked like really nice. The bounce with the market, 1, 2, then the market, and it's playing with the market. So what do we do here? I come right here, I come into my daily chart, and I look, and I have a lot of volume right here. So I want to be with these guys for sure. If these guys are right, and I go into my monthly chart is just an uptrend, and we just consolidating right here at the top. Let's look at right here, and let's look at the weekly chart. So we basically have a massive break, right? Here's a breakout play, 900 to 1200. That's 300 points, guys. A 30% move in a couple weeks. Talk about a move. Of course, it's going to come down We came down, tested. I was out. This is the Santa Claus rally, right? Tested, right? Came back up. Target one. What's target one? Prior high. It's almost prior high. 1209 by 1243. Again, it's like 30 points on a $1,200 bill that you have in your, you're not going to fight over $9. So this is like prior high. So now what do we have? We're putting what possibly could be a higher pivot, right? Possibly. So real confirmation will be once I start seeing 1116, and that'll be aggressive. Now, why do I like it? Because I have a lot of volume right here. So once I start seeing that these guys are like, okay, this guy supported it at the 50 MA and the 20 MA. Once I go 1116, I want to be long this thing. So Tesla over 1120, let's call it 1120 for 1205 and 1243 all-time highs. When is the, oh, that was the news for, let's see, when we have it. 126. Oh, soon. When's 126? 2018, 2020, next week. Could be like next Thursday, probably. Interesting. Very nice chart. Very nice chart. So we have it here, right? We all clean. We all clear what we want to do. We just playing this one, and let's try to see if these guys at the 50 and the 20 MA. Make a note, trading at the 50 MA and at the 20 MA. So that's a double whammy with volume. All we need is to show me the volume, show me that you're going to go higher. Now, if we start trading down, because of course it can go both ways. Well, the volume will be behind me. The 50 MA will be over me. The 20 will be over me. So it's going to be so hard to pick a bottom right there. But I'll defer to my monthly chart. And then I come right here and then I look like, wow, they're going to test it again. So probably 900 should be the natural place. So if you want to short it, if you're inclined to short it under 1,000 for 900 into support resistance on a monthly chart. Okay, that's a full game plan for Tesla going into earnings. So we have a full game plan for Tesla into earnings next week. So Lucid, which is another one that was looking great at some point in time, at least on a daily chart. Look at the monthly chart, doesn't look that good because of all the reversals. So we have like, and this is horrible, and this is real. We traded that one. So that was like, I don't know, it just goes, and I don't know what's the deal with that stock. Anyways, so they won the, the prize and design and everything. They try to break it. They couldn't.
Is that the spring?
Where this one right here, that could be a spring. That could be, yeah, nice catch. That could be a spring. Yep. In that case, we should have been long from 38. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Could be a spring. But the thing is, like, the entry will need to be that day, right? Following day could be, but then your risk reward gets skewed because now you're paying 10% more, right? But yes, in this case, I'm talking in this case, but yes, that's exactly the entry. And I think we traded this one right here, 43 for 47. I think we traded this one, the 1-2, and that was like, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great example, guys. So thanks for bringing that up. That's good to know you guys are paying attention. But yeah, basically this is what we want, right? When you know that it's gonna be like a comment into, into some area right here. So everybody's waiting, right? Everybody's getting long. Hey, can I go long? Yeah, buy it. Yeah. Tomorrow is gonna be a great day. And they start seeing the green and you're in the money, right? The next day you're down and you don't wanna lose, and then you get stopped out. The following day it's gonna run. That's the way it works. That's the way they check us out. Now, I don't know if you notice, guys, the put call ratio, like when it gets too extreme, that means if everybody's bullish, guess what's going to happen? Tomorrow is going to drop. And then when we start seeing those high peak call ratios, like everybody's bearish, you can pretty much bet like at some point in time within the next 24 to 36 hours, there's going to be a bottom, at least a technical bounce. So this plays exactly into that. I mean, who the heck is trading, shorting this one at 34, right? Far from the, you should have been shorting 41. Now you're shorting like 15% down. Guess what you're gonna get? You're gonna get a big stop. Anyways, this is a good example of a spring. Ideally, I wanted like longer, the longer the base and more the spring. So yeah, this is a great example of a spring. So what are we looking for here? Not loving it because of this. Like I said, like this pullback is hard, but we can get, if we can get some momentum. So I'm gonna call it as a because it's a good tradable range, right? Especially because we are at the point of control. So lose it at point of control and at the 50 MA could probably get us some, if we start moving in the right direction, that means to the upside. So over 41.50, and we take it as a range for 45 and 47. And that's the beauty of this one. That's what I usually keep an eye on that one, because he can give me 10, 15%, and usually it's in the same day. So keep an eye on this one. Just put the alerts what I told you to put them, right? So we're talking 41, 41.50. So let's put the 41 right there. And then we go target 1, 43, target 2, 45, 47. Yep. Okay, so that's lucid. And what was I doing? Oh, I have a moment right there. So we got the lucid XPV. I think it was posted. I don't know why it was posted today, but there was something. I don't know. Probably I missed it. Anyways, this one monthly. So if we get 52, yeah, probably take it for 56. But not my favorite. No call on XPV FSR. I know it was something that we were looking before. Probably in the first move of the year. The 16, I think, went to 18. So that was pretty good, because that's 2 points on a $16 stock. That's almost a 20% move, a little bit more, and then it failed, right? So same thing, we're thinking on this one here, boom, failed. Now, we're at the point of control. What do I do there? I have no idea what to do right there. Why? Because it's clearly in a downtrend. It's clearly in a chop. Like I don't have a formation right here on a daily and on a monthly. So it can easily go 13. It can easily go 12.34. So 14 to 12. If you want to do a momentum, that could be a short. Also, we just trigger a short based on the squeeze indicator. We triggered today, right there. So it can continue actually just because of that, the 14 for 12. So FSR on the 14 for 12. I usually don't like to trade these low price stocks. Once they get into that 10-ish, I'm really not loving them so much. And then we go to Ford, which is a great looking chart. I think we timed this one correctly, because we were expecting the move to happen in January, and that's exactly what it happened. So I'm glad we did it, and we all make money on this one. So what's next for this one? We call it, I think, 26 to 30. Pretty simple. My psychology behind this type of trades is simple. If it's going to go up, it has to go through 26. Plain and simple. If I start trying to play at 25.50, 25.80, then probably that's going to be the day when I'm going to buy like a 23.30, and then it comes down. And then I know I said, like, for some of the intraday traders, that I said like 24 was a level. So 24.40 is a level, right? We have a lot of volume right here. So could that be a good entry? Yes, but then your stop is going to be 23, probably $22. So if we go and test the highs, just make sure you know how you're positioned yourself, considering the fact that we just have this massive move, and it was one of the hottest stocks for last year. Actually, we went from what, $9 to 27, 26. That's like 300% move in that stock. So that one, I think it needs some time now, or some catalyst. When is Ford reporting earnings? Let me see. 203. Yeah, probably is gonna take all of his time until 2-3. So 4-2-3 earnings. Let's look for an earnings run over 26 for 30. and let's see what's going to happen. But probably not be paying too much attention to that one. This one was supposed to be running, like, I don't know why, because the chart is so different. Like you see a chart in Ford, look at the difference last year, what Ford did versus trading GM. Can say is nothing, pretty much did nothing. That was the first one that came out with Mayor Barra started talking about being electric, full electric to, I don't know, 2030 or 2040. When is that? I don't know when exactly that is going to be. But anyways, what we have right now is sort of a double top, right? We negated the 67. I don't like to call it double top. When you come and see the monthly, it's just a double top. That's what's going to happen right there. Everybody's selling. So look at the tails. The tails you tell you that is selling, 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 selling. To where? I have support probably at the 54. Then I come right here, the 61. So we just broke it. And then the real support is 58. So we're getting there. Actually, look at this. This is where a lot of the buying happened last year. If we break 57, now that's telling you something else. If we start breaking 57, we go down hard, right? 57, 54, 51. So let's do GM as a contrarian. So we have some short under 57 for 54 and 51, okay? Just if we start seeing some weakness into the cars. I don't even know what the difference is between a Ford and a GM as far as they should be doing the same. It's not a secret what they're doing. At least shouldn't be too damn. At least okay. So NEO pulling back to the 61.8% on the monthly chart. We have no support right there, 29 as far as the volume. The volume comes out at 40. So this one is a reversal. I have to call it a reversal. We're in a squeeze, daily squeeze for 6 days. I have an alert at 32.50. I'll probably watch it over 33.40. And now the fact that we're testing the 61.8 at likely holding, probably get it a few points as a reversal trade. So I want to check 32.5 for NEO as a reversal. So over 32.5 over the 50 MA. So the 50 MA stands at 3340 right now, 3334. So 3340, and we probably take it to 37. Okay, so that's a reversal play. We got a couple of reversal plays. I think is NEO, which is Chinese, and BABA, which is Chinese. That's a good way to remember. And let's go to the security ones that we say that that's a theme. So this one is getting into support. Like if we go into the longer time frames, like weekly, you see that all of the support is at 80. So my God, 93. Can this thing continue higher, lower? 88, at least 5 points. Yeah, but that's a monthly. See the weekly. Yeah, 85. Momentum. Oh, net. Sorry, guys. I mean, the call is 93 for 85, but I try to trade this one. Options are not good, at least not the day that I was trading it. I have a big move and didn't really pay off that much because it was horrible. Spready and hard to trade. So Upstart, this was financing new companies, I think it is. Hey, don't quote me on that. I don't do much research as far as fundamentals, but it looks like look at all the volume right here and here. So we're leaving all of these guys behind. That can drop 20%. Yeah, 104.84. UPST under 104 for 84, roughly 80%. Momentum is just an idea from momentum. DDOG, that's Datadog. Pulling back hard. Don't see, this is another one that when I look at this, like you see, like we see the accumulation, we can see that one, but then it's just like Where's the people buying this thing at higher prices? When you come into the daily, you can probably see some spots, but it's like the volume, you know, they gap up and then just like crazy red, green, red, 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 red. I think I traded a couple of days and I really didn't like trade that much. So for there is like, yeah, you can break that, you know, the break of a 2000 MA under 130 for 120 and 110. So DDOG under 130 for 120 and 110, and that's a 200 MA, the 130. So make a note that it is at the 200 MA, 200 MA. Datadog, is there anything that we should be looking at, like the banks or something? Because wow, look at the reversal in JP Morgan. That was in news. That was on yeah.
Earnings, yeah.
Earnings, right. So we were looking at probably making new all-time highs a couple of weeks ago. I think I was trading at that 167, 170. Never triggered. So down 159, down today for the second day. So it was not a second day play. We just gapped down horribly. So 151, where do we get it? 140. Let's put an alert at 140. Let's see what's going on right here, 140. So if you're a momentum trader, you can probably want to trade that one for 10 points. Yeah. Goldman, I think it was Goldman that blew it for pretty much every one of them. But look at the volume in Goldman. We make 490 points. So that one could be a second day play, right? Reversal trade for a gap fill, sort of a capitulation trade. Let's look at the weekly. Let's see how the weekly looks, because this could be one for tomorrow. Yeah, we're still up there. So if we can trace, look at sort of where we stopped today, 349, 350, which is here, these tails right here, this reversal right here, this one right here, right there. They stop you for, if I do 3 points, no big deal. Massive volume today. We will need to be seeing some real buying tomorrow, right? So it's pretty simple. 361, we see it over 361, we take it, or whatever the price is. Yeah, like 361, 362. We can probably 365 and 374. Yep. Let's add Goldman Sachs, second day play, capitulation candidate. If we continue lower, well, we know how to trade it if you really want to trade it, right? So we should be taking the low of the day, or at least BWAP. 351 should be your alert, 347 you short, and then you take it for, what do we say? 340. Yeah, 340. This is 70% of the move over last year. So once we get into 340, you're probably going to see some people starting to cover, but the other one is telling me 330. So 330, 340. So Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, this one looks good if we can make new highs, just based on the monthly, but I don't love it. Citibank, not loving it. XOM, some oils continue to run. Like oil is so high now. I think this is I don't know. I saw statistics, but I totally forgot. I think I saw triple BY on the news. Maybe wrong. Yeah, I think I'm wrong. 1407, 1403. Nothing happens right there. Let me see the chat. FCX. Hey, materials, huh? FCX, yeah, 4602. That looks good. Yeah. Disney. You love Disney, Hassan. Disney, they have discounts for Florida residents for 2 days for only $149. So if you're gonna go, it's a good time. That's all I know about Disney. 180, hey, 160, I'm sorry. Like 160, look at the volume. I like it. I like it over 160 or 160. House of Mouse for 170. So yeah, why not? This over 160. Hey, what happened to the other one, Roku? My God. Jesus. We try to short that one. We try to short that one. And what was the other one that we always shorted, Kyle? It was this one and Doku. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just they don't move intraday like you expect them to move. They just move like 150 points in 3 months. My God. Right? It's like, come on, hold on to them. The Doku and all the new technology. Oh my God, look at this thing. $100, 120. We tried this. I remember this one. This is the 116. Exactly. The 116, and then my God, hit part. So that's the P-ton KSS. I think it was strong today, right? Calls is bucking the trend all over the news. So 52, I like it. Can we do something with that one? With that one, volume is great, but what I don't like is the closing, like 49.52. So technically, you have two options right there. You trade 50 to 52, which is from here to here, and that's your scalp. So you're trading from here 50 to 52, this little thing right here. Or you wait for 52 and volume and 53.60 to take it for $60. So yeah, that's complicated as far as trying to do it intraday. LVS, I think, is another one that we're watching. So it was a gap up, and today was a second day candidate, whatever. Huge volume over the last 2 days. Looks like it's testing, trying to put a bottom right here on the monthly chart. So yes, there's volume at 39. Look at here, like volume at 38 was massive last year, and they pay up a little bit at 40 this year. So we break in, and I think we can see 47 on that one, which is 45 and 47, but it's just a momentum. So keep an eye on that one. Trying to bottom LVS and BA. Yes, BA, I know it's at 220 right there, right? It's just, I hate trading BA. So bad intraday. My God. But what I like is this formation on the monthly. Let me show it to you guys, because this is nice. This is nice, right? I don't want to say it because this is not a cup and handle, but look at the formation. You know the psychology behind the cup and handle. We need a longer base of accumulation. This is like hard, but this is a pandemic, right? So we know that this is COVID and everything, but this is like some sort of floor that they put right here, 140, try to break it, and now they're coming down. This is the handle. So we can probably take 246. Don't put it as a cup and handle, because this is not a cup and handle. What I'm trying to explain is the move. What I'm seeing, this is a lower high. Oh, sorry, a higher low. A higher low. And it's a significant higher low. Look, we're coming from 143, and this time it only came down to 180. So this is actually interesting. There's a change right here that is going on. I think the news has been better. Look at where we accumulated last year. By we, I'm talking about the market. So 222, 225. That's the entry for this one, 222, 225. So we should be right here on a monthly buy. It was 222.14, 225. We can confirm over 240, and then we can go to 26. So yes, that I like it. PA 240 for 280, right? And then you can probably get a nice entry before that 240 that I want. So you know how to do that. Probably this one, it will be the entry right here, 233. So you know 233, 240. Once you break 240, you go for 260. So momentum 233, I think it is. Basically, I want to take out this pivot right here to 232. It all depends on what the news is, right? If the news is good and it just starts going strong. So yes, BA, I like it. Disney, FCX, what else we have? Okay. I'm here in biceps. Deadlifts any day. Yes, I agree with you. So more biceps, less deadlifts. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. Be nimble of this market. I keep reminding that myself every single day. Don't get too bullish too fast. Don't get too bearish too fast. And slow it down. Count to 3, because it's been challenging, guys. This is not the same market we've been trading over the last 2 years for sure. Right? It's changing. I think it's going to continue to change. So we need to adapt, review your strategies, and most importantly, review what's working, what's not working, right? If it's something that you used to do and it was like printing money and now it's not printing money, then check out what's going on. Yeah, Roblox. I thought it was going to go like 85 to 105. So now it's not looking too cute. And I think it's a short for tomorrow, just based on the daily chart. 70. Yeah, we can totally short this one as a momentum trade. 77 for 72 on Roblox momentum. So let's see where the market opens tomorrow, because that's going to be the main thing, guys. I mean, like when the market is at these significant levels, we just gotta keep an eye, at least one eye on that one. The other one, you can do whatever you want, but keep an eye on the market. Okay, guys. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us.
Thanks, Mario. See you in the morning.
Okay, bye.